simply we met two figures.
One of the most thought-provoking events was Asleep at the Wheel, an installation by sonic artist and former Milton Keynes resident Janek.
Here in a corner of the vast space of Milton Keynes Shopping Centre, it used to belong to a well-known retail store. There are signs outside saying we've moved down the road. They've left an empty building which has been taken over for a piece called Asleep at the Wheel. So, Janek, do you want to take us inside?
Welcome, of course. The invitation came at Christmas time to do a piece based on cars in the city of roundabouts. There's 10 cars in all, and they've been confiscated, and they're parked here until they get recycled down the tip and made into other cars. We've had to black out the entire space so I can control the light and set the mood for it. So on the road, each of the cars are shining their own hazard lights on their own pattern, which creates a random symphony of light.
And I couldn't see this until we got here, but there is a road, a 3-lane highway is marked out.
People say it's eerie down here, and it feels like the motorway when there's a crash up ahead and you're all waiting. But they're essentially exciting, I hope. So I thought about the icon of the car, the way it represents our personal freedom to be on the open road, do what we like. And also maybe it was a metaphor for the way that we are careering down the fast lane of life with our foot to the floor, our head in the clouds in a kind of daydream like you are on the motorway. The linear road ahead does have an end. I was reading about tipping points and peak planet and the way that maybe we need to recognize the way our consumer culture is driven by cheap energy and to try and change the way we live. And I began to research ways that other people had talked about this. It was fascinating to learn about from other people who knew more about these issues what was happening in the future for us all. I'm 40, my father's 80, my daughter is 4. What will life be like for her in 40 years' time? So in the exhibition, you're invited to get into the back seats of each of the cars where there are separate soundtracks. Some of the cars have daydream music wafting around you, some of them cathartic sounds that wash through you. Some of them have long stories about very interesting people and their experiences, the way they've lived and the way they can improve their lives. Some of the cars have short sound bites that are very powerful. But as you go through, there's 3 hours worth of sound here. So it'll always be different for you. And even if you spend 10 minutes, you'll hear something that you cannot ignore.
I'm afraid future generations are not going to be very sympathetic toward us today. They're going to look at us and say, my God, you had everything. You had all the energy in the world. You had all the raw materials. You had plenty of fresh water. You had topsoil. You had cheap food. And what did you do with it? You just used it all as quickly as you could. You did it in a way that was completely unsustainable.
As I get in, I find someone's left, as we often do in our cars, a 2p coin. Between these seats. It's really quite spooky. We can't see how many miles it's done, can we? Because it's not switched on, so it won't.
You can't see out the windscreen either, because I kind of made it into this misty, rainy, sleety, icy surface, so you focus on the sound.
The strong smell of petrol, and if you look in the rear-view mirror, the future ain't what it used to be. It's
But each of the rear-view mirrors does have a quote that's positive about reflecting how the future can be better for us all.
All through history, the way of truth and love has always won.
So, as you return from that powerful experience, I wanted to offer you some hope. I built a lay-by library, like a wake-up wheel, with reclaimed sofas and a table made from 150-year-old railway carriages built in Milton Keynes. And around it, there are a selection of books with positive titles that every time you open one, you think, God, that's really interesting. There could be good things ahead. And then you can watch the 4 videos that I put on display that really inspired me to change my own life. On the other side of the space, as you leave, there's the old tobacco kiosk, which I've converted into a service station. There you can get free tea and coffee, and I wanted to find a way for the public to have hope that they could take away from the exhibition and maybe do something themselves. I watched The Age of Stupid DVD. Inside was an insert to the 10-10 initiative. It was a simple way for you to reduce your own carbon emissions by 10% this year and perhaps change lanes in the way you understand the issues ahead. In doing so, then I realized that I myself had to make a step of my own life with my family towards a better way of living. So thank you very much for your time, and I hope we can all wake up.